Welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about lotus pose. So this is a very fun pose to practice, but also a pose that we always should be so careful with our knees um, and hips and all of that. So today we're going to go through a very simple and nice sequence to start opening up the hip rotators, to maybe go over a few tips on how to keep the knees healthy, and we'll do it all at around 15 minutes so that you can incorporate this into your practice, or catch a 15-minute hip opening little sequence in between meetings or other things that you have to do during your day. So I'll take a look at the chat, see if there's any questions, and this is a live session, but I'll have it recorded and uploaded onto the videos for you to watch whenever it's convenient for you. Okay. So I'll give it a minute just to see if I'm getting any questions, any problems that you're having with your knees during this pose. Just let me know. If you're watching this after it's been live, just feel free to put any questions in the comments, and when I'm able to, I can answer those for you or make a video about something that I can address about Lotus. All right, so let's get started. So it's a nice, if you have a wall available, so like a section, of wall where you have the two walls, that's a great place to put your mat for this sequence. Okay. So I have a few props, but you don't really need any of them. And I'll just explain as we go. So we'll start out by just getting into a nice downward dog. Come over to your mat and come into a downward dog. Take a few breaths here and then come down and sit comfortably on your mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer so that we are around 15 minutes for this practice. And I appreciate all of your views and your comments. So please leave comments below. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Okay. So we're going to set 15-minute timer. And we're going to start out really opening the hip and creating a little bit of mobility on those hip rotators. So what I would recommend is, if you have some kind of a height or a stool, or if you have yoga blocks, bring those out. And we're going to sit on the mat. So we're going to sit here in this pose that we call Dandasana, or I think it's staff pose. So we sit in Dandasana here, and sometimes it's really difficult to sit here. So we start rounding the back because there's a lot of tightness here in the hamstrings, right? And so it's a little difficult. So you can sit against the wall for this one. And what you can do when this pose is difficult is you have a little bit of a height. So you can use a towel, you can fold up 2 towels and sit on those, or a blanket, or any kind of height that is pretty stable. So you can sit here, and this helps get a little bit of length on those hamstrings, and so you can sit a little bit taller here without that extra pressure on your back. So there we go. Spread the toes. So the way we're going to be sitting here is I'm going to first work on my left side. And what I want to do is I want to bring the left side to a 90-degree angle. So if my leg is, bent like this, I have a little bit more than 90 degrees. So I bring it all the way until I feel like it's pretty much a square here. And depending on my flexibility, I'm going to use a block. So I'm going to move that foot out and place my heel onto the floor here. And then I'm going to rotate this leg medially, so towards the center of the body. And I'm making sure that my right foot is nice and active and on the floor. So if I'm able to come and rotate this leg down towards the knee, I can do that. But I have to really not tolerate any pain at all in the knee. So knee is 100% pain free. So heel on the floor and then rotate the leg out. And whenever you start feeling that tightness coming in and you feel the rotators working, then support it with a block, right? And then if you can come down further without any pain in the knee, you inhale and then exhale, allow the leg to come down and making sure that that heel is active, foot is active, and right foot's active. So this is what this looks like. To come out of the pose, I'm going to complete that full rotation of the heel and the leg coming out. So full rotation here. And then I fully extend the leg and then go ahead and bring the leg out. So that's very important. So coming out of the pose is almost more important than coming in this case. Now we're going to work on the second side, and I'm going to give you a different angle so you have a different view of how to do this. So first we start out here sitting in our sitting pose with a little bit of height underneath the sit bones if we need it. Bring the right leg, in this case, to a 90-degree angle. So that 90-degree angle here, and bring the heel out. And I'm going to rotate that heel in, keeping this 90-degree angle of my knees here. Knee, shin, and thigh, 90-degree angle to each other. And so I can tilt my block a little bit so that my knee can fit in there nicely. And then I can lower the height as long as the work is being done in the hip and not by the knee. So if the hip is very tight and I'm pushing the knee down, I'm going to create a torque in the knee and really damage my knee. So I need to make sure that this freedom is coming from the hips. So we do this exercise to develop this mobility here on these hip rotators and not stress the knee to do this. So the permission to come down on the pose is coming directly from the hip, not the knee. So make sure that there is zero pain here in the knee. So here we are, and if we can come a little bit lower, we come lower, but again, making sure that there isn't any pain in the knee. Sometimes you experience some cramping in the thigh, and that's normal, so make sure that you support that knee. Make sure keep it supported as long as there's any kind of pain or discomfort. And then as you're able to breathe, so inhale, exhale, bring it down a bit more. All right, so then we keep it here. And it's a nice place to work, keeping it here from 30 seconds to about 3 to 5 minutes. So in your practice, you can start timing yourself and increase your time as you're able to breathe through the practice, making sure you're not holding your breath. Again, very important to come out. You anchor the heel and you rotate that leg all the way around and even more. Breathe here for a moment, extend the leg and come out. Okay, and so in this exercise, we repeat it. And here we'll do it a little bit quicker, but in your own practice, you can do this for, again, 30 minutes up to 5 minutes per side. So here I place a block on the center, and I come down to my elbows. And again, I press the heel on the ground and make sure that I have a 90-degree relationship there between the shins and the thigh. And then I roll out, all the way out, and out, back out. And then I do the same thing here with my right leg. Bring the right leg in, keeping that leg at 90 degrees. And you'll see it's also a really nice workout for your neck here. So make sure to use a wall to support your head if your neck is getting really tired, so don't strain the neck. And then roll out, straighten the leg. And I'll show you what that looks like. If you want to use the wall to support your head, you can put a blanket there behind your head, but you can do the pose here where you're really working on those hip rotators. So this is hard work. This pose really does start bringing length, space in the hips there. And again, come out. And the last variation of this pose is you're fully laying down. So come to a laying down position. Use a little support for your head if your head has a tendency to kind of roll up and hurt the neck there. So go ahead and use it. And so here we're going to place the block just right where the knee would come in, around there. And I lay down. Again, I have that 90-degree angle between the shin and the foot. And I'm going to roll in and support that with a block if I need it. And then lower the knee as I'm able to lower without any pain in the knee. So I do that to the first side. Inhale, exhale, come out, roll all the way out. Extend the leg so I don't catch anything on my knee. And then repeat the same thing on the second side. So heel comes out. And I'm really extending the leg out through the knee, so keeping that leg long. And I come down here. And I can adjust my block here. And I support the knee, and then I would lower the block as I'm able to bring the leg down and rotate here through the hips. When I'm finished, just allow that block to fall. It's totally fine. Come all the way back and a little more. Extend the leg. And go ahead and roll to the right to come out. Okay, so for our second little sequence that we'll work on today, we have a few minutes left. We're going to start working on this Padmasana leg. So first we get the hip rotators going, and now we start the Padmasana work. So when I bring my legs, when I fold the legs for Padmasana, I want to make sure that I am really folding the whole knee, so that there isn't any space left in the knee there. If I have a little bit of space, I'm putting the knee in danger. So I close that knee joint to start working on Padmasana to keep the knee joint safe. And as I do my movements, I keep that knee joint nice and closed. So I'm going to start out with my right leg. So the reason I'm starting out with my right leg is for the effect on my descending colon. I want that massaged first, and then the other side, so I have that positive effect on digestion while I'm doing Padmasana. And I'm going to grab my ankle, so I never grab the toes here. So grabbing the toes put my knees at risk. So I grab the ankle, I keep that knee joint closed, and I start moving the leg like this. So bring ankle, move the leg, and I do a few of these. So you can do 3 sets of 10. Okay. Bringing the leg down. And then when I'm finished with those sets, I go ahead and I do the same thing, but without my hands. So I can help you come here, and then I come out and straighten the leg. So what I want to avoid is this brushing of the foot down the leg. So please just don't do that. Just try to lift and come out. So we'll do again 3 sets of 10. And because we have a little bit of a time constraint, we'll just do a few here together. Right? And then try to take it out without the hand. Okay. Then if this is too difficult, or you can always add more height or a chair. And even if this is fairly simple to do, it's always a nice idea to add the chair and have that part of the exercise too. So a nice chair will do. And if you have a wall here, just bring the legs to the wall and then lift the chest so we're not rounding the back here. So a chair kind of gives us that ability to strengthen the back too. And same thing again, you're going to bring the foot to the chest and back. Do a few of these. So this one you can even do it from your desk. And then grabbing the ankle, and here we never push the knee down, you push the knee towards the wall. So we lengthen versus pushing it down. And it will come down once there's a lot of space and mobility here in the hip. Right? So again, we'll repeat 3 sets of 10 here. And once we're finished with those, then we repeat using less and less of the hand. A little bit, but we do less of the hand here. Making sure that we're not dragging the foot down the leg, but we're trying to lift it up right away. Okay, after a few sets, 3 sets of 10 about, we'll start getting into a little bit more of the Padmasana. Okay, so we're going to, we have 1:40 left, so this is enough to do a few times a week to start getting those rotators opened up, and a very simple exercise to strengthen the leg and get that motion in the foot, and then really keeping that knee closed and holding on to the ankle instead of the toes would really start getting you pretty far in your Padmasana practice. I'm going to go into a quick exercise on the wall, and this one you can save for later, or those of you who have an extra few minutes, we can go through those now. So it's a nice idea to do the warm-up first, and then work on these a little bit deeper exercises, but I feel like it would be a really nice tool to have, and to be able to refer back to this video and practice this, so that you can really start getting that headway into your lotus pose. Okay, so for those of you who joined just for the 15 minutes, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for subscribing, for your comments, and see you on the next video, or we'll see you in this video when you have the chance to watch it and do the second part. Okay, so we're going to go into a little bit deeper Padmasana exercise here, and the way that we do it is we use the wall. We use 2 walls, so if you have 2 walls, it's ideal. Okay, and depending on your tightness, is nice to put a little bit of a soft support here. So I'm going to work on my right side first, and the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a sticky mat on my leg. This is not necessary, but I don't like it when my foot slides off. So I'm going to sit with my foot against the wall. I'm going to really bring that knee joint close. So I'm really closing the knee joint, and I'm going to bring my leg into Padmasana here. And when I'm in Padmasana, I'm flexing my toes. So I'm not pointing the foot here, I'm flexing. So I'm really keeping this side of the Achilles tendon very, very long. So like that. Okay, so I have this down. Then I'm going to bend the knee here, come closer to the wall, and I'm going to put my knee down into the bolster. So knee into the bolster, out here to my side, and you can see I have my Padmasana knee on the ground, and then I slowly straighten my leg. All right. And then I slowly roll out to the side, come out. So here I have a very intense stretch, opening up the hips for Padmasana, and then I would use the opposite wall for the second side. And it's nice to be facing the wall when you're doing this because then this knee doesn't escape forward. So I'll try to put my computer on this side so you can have a different view. We'll see how that goes. Okay. So hopefully you can get a better view here. Right, so we're going to do it with the right side. So we're bringing the foot back, making sure that I'm holding onto that ankle and never the toes here. So bringing that foot back. And here I never want to push my knee down. I want to lengthen it and bring this knee almost close to this knee, right? So Padmasana, we're coming in like this and never push down. If anything, hold the knee and push out towards my hand. Okay, and here extend your Achilles tendon so that it's long, and work with a little mat if you don't, if your hands are slippery. Come into the wall. Okay, and then put that knee here on the side. The opposite foot on the wall, and in this foot in the beginning it's really high, but you want to get this foot at the same height of your hips. Okay, and come up here onto that knee, and you're going to get a really strong stretch on the side of the body. And Padmasana, you can bring the hand. Here we are. Really lengthening the side, lengthening the groin, and breathing here. And when you're ready, go ahead and come out. Again, just bring the foot out, don't drag it down the leg. So it's okay to do this practice as long as you don't have any pain or tightness in the knee. If there is still a lot of pain in the knee, there's a lot of other exercises that we can do to open up the hip a little bit more, to warm up a little bit more, gain a little bit more flexibility before you start this. So it is possible to do this without pain in the knee, and make sure that that's your number one contraindication for this pose. Is if there's any pain there, just stop, back up a little bit, and send me a comment. We can work on different steps that can get you to where you can do this. All right, so then the last thing that we'll do is another opening exercise. It's similar to this, but it's just a different way of doing it. So I'll move you back over there, and we'll go through how to do that one. Okay. All right, so last exercise we'll do is, again, nice to have a wall there. And we're gonna get our bolster really close to the wall here on this one. I'm going to use a block as a pillow. And I like to work with weight, so we can start out without weights and then slowly add the weights to your practice. So I'll show you how, and a little support for my knee. So again, here I'm gonna come against the wall here. I am going to bring my knee to that closed position. And if this is too intense, I can work here using the wall to bring that knee closer to this knee. So this is definitely a really great place to start. You can add a little bit of height. You can sit on your bolster even. And just start like this, right? So holding onto the ankle, bringing the knee down, just like we did on the chair, but on the floor. Making sure that you don't have any pain in the knees. So I can't repeat that one enough. Please take care of your knees. So we put a block here, and that's going to support the knee. So if you're using weights, it's always a good idea to make sure that you have a block supporting whatever you're putting weight on. So that's the number one rule. Sometimes under the supervision of like a very experienced teacher that knows the way that your knees are and the intensity of your practice, you are able to work without that support underneath your weight. But again, make sure you have a teacher there present checking it out. You don't want to overstretch your knee and could cause a lot more problems. Okay, so we'll come down here in Padmasana, support that knee and add your weight. So there you have it. You're supported by the wall here, so the knee can't come out. You have your weights there. Your Achilles tendons is extended. You don't have any pain in your knee right now. There's some, stretching on the thighs and around, this outer area, but it's not pain. It's just intense stretch. So take a few breaths here before you lay back. So we want to increase this length here. So there's this length, of the body here and the leg. So as I lay down here, I increase the length. So I come down slowly. So inhale, exhale, come down. And remembering to extend the knee out towards the wall. And take a few breaths here. Release any tension in the eye, the ear, and the throat. And if after a few breaths you just can't release the tension, this is a really big tension builder for you, then go ahead and come out. Just increase the height there, see if that helps, or remove the weights. And on poses like this, we start with a little bit less hold time. So you're holding maybe 30 seconds and then coming out. And eventually you can work up to holding the pose here from 5 to 15 minutes. And so it's up to you and how you practice. But holding a pose for a long period of time sometimes is very therapeutic, very nice if you're able to release that tension and to breathe into the pose and to really be respectful of your knees and of your body and come out when you can't hold that release of tension in the eyes, ears, throat, and belly. So here we are, working on Padmasana. And first you feel the tightness, second you start breathing into the tightness, and then you start realizing that the tightness really is an information in the actual brain. And so that you start allowing the brain to release those fibers, those muscles. And that is the work. How does each pose teach you something, or teach the brain something would be a better way of describing it in yoga terms. And when you're finished, inhale, exhale, remove the bag. And then bring the leg up slowly. Make sure that you keep that joint of the knee nice and close, so don't open that joint while coming up. And then remove the foot from the leg and bring the leg down. And come up, and you would also do the second side, just turning around and doing the same thing on the second side. So I hope this is a nice hip opening exercise for you. I hope that it helps you on your journey to Lotus pose. Please ask me any questions in the comments if you have them. And thank you for watching. See you on the next video. Bye.